WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Welcome to the first day of summer. Almost. It arrives in the 9 o'clock hour p.m. in the Central Time Zone tonight, the summer solstice. Longest day of the year, shortest night of the year. Starting tomorrow, they grow shorter and shorter. And then we do that whole standard time.
Oh.
And it gets dark at 4:30 in Nashville because we're so far east in the Central Time Zone. I hate it.
I do too. We can't think about that.
Oh.
We still have a whole summer left.
Okay.
We still have lots of
Celebrating summer.
That's right.
And from the Acuff House studio on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, that's where we greet you this morning. There's Charlie Matos, no ordinary man. Look at all that Portuguese. How about it, ladies? That's right. And Kelly Sutton. Kelly Sutton, who will be leaving us soon because Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders got a 400% raise, and she's all in.
I'm working on my middle splits right now. Let me tell you. Not as flexible as I used to be.
But you were a cheer girl.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I would have lived closer to Dallas, I probably would have tried.
Oh, I know you would have.
Yeah. I mean, they're incredible. So, yeah, we got that story coming up for you. Riley Green is now in the barbecue business, so you can look at him and watch him and listen to him sing and now eat his barbecue if you like. Also, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, summer menu items that you don't want to miss, plus the video of the missing diamond ring.
I can't wait to see
such a great
this.
story.
I heard this tease earlier.
Yeah, it was one of those needle in a haystack moments, but the diamond ring has been found.
On just a little bit on the Assembly Food Hall stage, Anne Wilson is going to join us. And if I'm not mistaken, Charlie, you did her Grand Ole Opry debut back in 2021?
Yeah, and it was the first time we met in person because we Zoomed with her for the very first time that she was with us. So, yeah, great to have her back.
And she's got new music.
Yeah, and written with her frequent co-writer, Matthew West, who's been a guest with us so many times. So looking forward to that.
WSM Radio. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And from the Assembly Food Hall stage, Nathan Kopanke, the GM of the Puckett's location downtown Nashville on Church Street, across from Kelly's father-in-law, which is dangerously close.
Dangerously close, literally.
Does he have a standing appointment over at your place that you're aware of?
He certainly does.
It's easy to do. Well, here's the thing. You already know it's going to be fantastic food. It's right there. It's convenient. I mean, you guys are really, you're knocking it out of the park. And I just said, what time do you open?
7 a.m.
Every day.
Every day.
So you can go breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah, if you're going to be downtown for the 4th, they're open, right?
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, I'll be downtown for the 4th. It's going to be busy. Here's a question. Do you guys do reservations?
We do reservations except for on the weekends. But just the Nashville location for right now, just to... Because of the volume during summer. But we will when it slows down.
Okay, that makes
said
sense.
Nashville location, the Church Street location.
Correct.
Nashville, Franklin, Chattanooga, Murfreesboro, Columbia, Pigeon Forge, Hendersonville. And we just celebrated a month or so back the Strawberry Festival with our friends in Coleman who came up to see us. So what's most popular? Number one item on your menu?
You know, it's kind of a tie between our Southern Fried Chicken and the meatloaf. Those are hands down winners either way. You can't go wrong with either of those items.
So the people who come to Puckett's are carnivores by nature.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I see highlights like the Southern Fried Chicken, shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits is a popular one also.
Man,
yeah.
Man.
That's one of my favorites personally.
You guys brought gumbo a few months ago on one of your first visits, and I had gumbo for breakfast 3 days in a row. So
it's good. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, any time of day.
Good gumbo, man. It is.
Now, if you're in Texas, you know chicken fried steak, but you've got chicken fried chicken.
Correct.
How does that work?
It's just a big chicken breast, and we bread it, and we fry it, and we put it on top of a scoop of mashed potatoes, smother it in white gravy with a side of green beans. And
well, that's all American, isn't it?
It doesn't get better than that.
Wow.
I heard the fireworks go off in my head when he said that. Exactly. So when did you get involved in food? How did you get started in the business?
I've always been in hospitality. My first job was at a particular popular amusement park because I grew up in Southern California. But then I just stumbled into restaurant management, and I've been doing it for the last 24 years.
I think that popular amusement park, Kelly has an apartment at the location in Florida these days.
We're there a lot.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start if you're going to start somewhere.
Yeah, it just got my love for hospitality and service, and I can't see myself doing anything else.
How old were you when you went to work there?
18, right? Like the day after high school, I graduated. Yeah,
it's like folks who worked at Opryland USA here in their teens. You know, when they were in high school.
That was 30 years ago.
That's so great.
Well, The whole farm.
The whole farm.
Explain what that is.
It is a farm on a plate. You got all to be frank. No, exactly. It comes with pulled pork. It comes with brisket. It comes with a half chicken. It comes with smoked sausage, and it comes with turkey. And then it comes with a side of baked beans and collard greens and some corn cakes. And it is
this
outstanding.
shareable?
Well, that's what
It's meant to feed two, but it's not uncommon for.
Please tell me that my waiter or waitress is not going to walk up and go, "What do you want for dessert?"
Of course we are. Yeah.
Boy, that's good.
We'll try to push our fried brownie any chance we can.
And what is it?
We have a deep fried brownie Sunday dessert, and it's award winning, and it's a brownie, and we dredge it and we fry it, and then we put a scoop of ice cream on top of it, whipped cream, candied pecans, chocolate sauce, caramel sauce, and a slice of candied bacon.
And I'm sure there are 3 in the green room for us.
Yeah, but the ice cream melted, so I had to eat it. So sorry.
You're not allowed to have that, by the way.
Man, there is
That's crazy.
something about the salty, the bacon with the sweet. It's just a killer
phenomenal,
combination. Yeah.
Well, skillet mac and cheese, fried green tomatoes are back, and
favorite.
especially with summertime coming on today, being the first day of summer. Fried okra, which I grew up
favorite.
on. I mean, it was a staple
Yeah.
for me as a kid growing up. My mother would boil it, but she'd fry it for me and Dad.
Oh, really?
And when you boil okra, what it looks like? It
Yeah.
looks like a slug.
Yeah. It's real slimy. You got to fry it. That's the best part
Yeah.
for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the 4th, because it is going to be a massive undertaking. A lot of people that are listening to us may be just coming in because they know we have one of the biggest 4th of July celebrations. So if they're coming to see y'all, they definitely would want to try to get some reservations ahead of time. It's on a Friday, so they could do that. Or you guys have the to-go packs.
Yeah, we
So
have
talk to us about that option.
Oh, it's a perfect option, especially if you're going to a park where you're going to go watch fireworks. It's a perfect option. It comes with 2 pounds of meat, your choice of pulled pork and brisket, or our turkey, and then it comes with 2 quart sizes of any size you choose, and then it comes with bread. But then there's also add-on options. If you're taking it, and it feeds up to 4 to 6. But if you're taking it to a park, you have modifications where you can add a jug of our iced sweet tea or unsweet tea or lemonade. And then if you want to really go big, we also have an option where you can add a cobbler for 4.
So as a Southern California kid, was sweet tea?
Yeah.
Was that
Believe it or
new
not,
to you?
my grandma liked sweet tea, so I've always been accustomed to sweet tea,
Oh, no
even though it's
kidding.
not been coincidentally, sheer coincidence. But
She
yeah,
was
so sweet tea, I
indoctrinated,
have this. I already had that in bed. Like, I can't drink unsweet tea. I'm like, oh, what is
That's
this? What
excellent.
happened?
That's excellent. And
This
you
is
add
bad.
the sugar later, it doesn't work.
No, it
It's
has
not
to
the
be
same.
while it's being made. Yeah.
That's right.
Catch us up on the community work you do, like the Feed the Community summer program.
Yeah, Puckett's in all the communities and counties we work in like to reach out and do our part. And my store in particular is heavily with the Boys and Girls Club. So we right now just last month in July, or last month we did a sauce. Portions of our sauce proceeds went to the Boys and Girls Club, but also we're feeding families like right now that aren't able to get the meals they would because school's out. So we're able to keep that going for them.
That makes sense.
It's a good, we any chance we get to reach out to the community, we're happy to do it, and it's just part of the Puckett's grain. It's what we do. It's it's unheard of to not do something like that. It's just what we do.
That's cool.
Well, I also know that since a lot of families and children don't have access when summertime rolls around to the free breakfast or free lunch programs at their schools, each one of the Puckett's locations throughout Tennessee and Alabama will be serving either breakfast or lunch at 17 different community partner facilities throughout the month of June and again in July.
Yeah.
And the kids will go back to school in
That's
in
so
August. It is.
incredible.
It really is.
You don't think about that when school
No.
is out. You're like, yay, it's summer. But for kids, some of them,
How
that
many
was-
families are
It
truly
could be a
dependent
dreaded
on it.
time. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't think of it. It's always
Absolutely.
something to look forward to, but sometimes it's, oh no, what am I gonna do?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
How am I going to eat? I saw some of the alcoholic beverage menu. It looks pretty tasty, but there's an island.
Charlie saw that too.
Yeah,
by
I
the way.
did.
Yeah.
I
There's-
jumped right down to that portion.
Did you? I was looking
Did you
and
find
I'm
a favorite?
These look all
All.
amazing.
All?
Oh, yes.
Are you trying? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to non-alcoholic because there's something called Islands in the Stream. And I'm like,
Oh,
all right,
Dolly.
well,
Okay,
because I love Dolly so much, I've got to try. It's pineapple juice, lemon, peach tea syrup, and ginger beer. How have I not tried that already together.
It's refreshing.
Is it?
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a popular one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come in.
Well, and I notice mocktails are getting much more creative these
Yeah.
days than opposed to just a simple thing. We just take the alcohol.
Sometimes
out.
you just want to drink with your friends, but
Yeah.
you don't want the drink.
Yeah.
So you look, it just feels right.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
I've never experienced it, but I've heard that. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Charlie, I have to ask you, as the resident Elvis expert, here,
Oh, I'm so intrigued by this.
have you had the Presley parfait?
No, I have not, but it sounds just like right up my alley.
Well, this is dessert. This is where
Yes.
we wrap the interview.
Okay.
We're going to eat our dessert, and then we're going to go home.
Okay.
out.
I like that. Yeah.
But if you just joined us here this morning on Coffee Country, and Cody Puckett's represented with Nathan Kopanke, the general manager of the downtown Nashville Church Street location. But again, Nashville, Franklin, Chattanooga, Murfreesboro, Columbia, Pigeon Forge, Hendersonville, Cullman, Alabama. Presley Parfait. Listen to this. Mason jar filled with layers of crushed vanilla wafers, homemade banana pudding, fresh banana slices, peanut butter mousse, come on in there, Elvis, and whipped cream.
Yeah, that's right in the Elvis Presley wheelhouse, isn't it? Yeah.
And then just get a side of bacon.
Oh, I
would
like
be
that.
perfect.
There's my salty.
So after you've eaten the whole farm, try the Presley Parfait.
Top it off just right.
Man, it all sounds amazing.
Well, Nathan, thank you for coming to see us. All
Appreciate
the best. And 4th of July celebration downtown is perfect for Puckett's. You're on Coffee Country and Cody. WSM Radio, Circle Country Television.
Coffee Country and Cody.
Boy, it is a huge day, the first day of summer. Again, 9 o'clock hour p.m. in the Central Time Zone, the arrival tonight. Anne Murray, 80. Bob Vila is 79. Tina Sinatra is 77. Lionel Richie is 76. John Goodman is 73. 58 years for Nicole Kidman. Dan Tominski, birthday boy, earlier in the week. So a big week for him. He kicked off Bluegrass Nights 2025 with you, Kelly, and he was in studio with us the other day in the new Live at the Ryman album. And Chet Atkins, Hall of Fame songwriter who gave us Kiss an Angel Good Morning and a ton of other stuff. Ben Peters and Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys were all born. All those birth anniversaries on the first day of summer. Kelly?
All right. Well, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. They just got a big old raise, and I am very excited for them. If I wasn't sitting down, I would do a high kick, but I'm not going to. So congratulations to them, because really they've been an integral part of that organization for years.
That organization owned by Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. Yes. And Jerry finally came up off the wallet. I don't know if it was Jerry or Charlotte. I think it was probably Charlotte.
Kelly,
Charlotte's running the thing now.
Very unwillingly,
Right.
Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys came up off his wallet.
That's right. So here's basically what I can sum up, because there's no hard number of what they actually made. There were estimates that they were making around $75,000 a year. But
I guess
that's
a base.
But that was like everything. That was everything all included.
Okay.
So that's what I saw estimates of. Again, no one has come out on record and said this is what they make. For example, other teams probably make around, I would say, $25,000 to $35,000 a year. That's it. Yeah.
That's doing all the extra appearances.
That's doing all
and
the extra
things.
appearances.
Yeah.
So they would get paid like a $500 fee for an appearance, but they would also only make $15 an hour if they were doing an hourly thing. So all that to be said, they have now earned a 400% raise. And if I'm doing the math right, if it really was like 75,000, then they're up around 375,000 now, which is amazing. And congratulations to them. Because if you've watched the DCC documentary, the first season, these ladies are holding down full-time jobs, a lot of them, and then doing this just because they love it and they wanted to be a part of this organization. Now, this is a game changer. A lot of them, if they want to, don't have to maybe work that other job.
Well, and like an athlete, they got to make this money while they can. You know, you
Correct.
can't do it at 60, you know, so there's a time as well. So good for them.
Yeah.
You know, big time.
I am very, very excited about that. Apparently, it was one of the girls that said, hey, we had to really push for this because they came to us with a contract and we were like, no. It's got to be more than this. With the popularity of the first season of the Netflix show and now a second season, it is, I think, number 2 right now on all-time watch of Netflix. People have just devoured it, and it's only been out for a couple weeks. So that being said, it just perpetuates more money going into the Dallas Cowboys coffers, therefore more money should be coming out to the girls. And I'm very happy about that. Plus, they've got the calendar and all the other things that they do. I don't know exactly what they're making, but cheers to them. Very happy about it. If you want to watch the second part of that docuseries, it is available now. DCC came out again just about a week ago, but everybody's been talking about it and watching it. All right, Riley Green. Not only does he sing and have #1 hits on the radio, now he's got a bar, and you can add barbecue to the whole list of things that he's doing. Riley had a recipe for barbecue and barbecue sauce that he really likes. So they've implemented that into their menu downtown at Losers. Introducing Riley's Barbecue Shack, everybody. Get ready for it. They said that people are just going to be flocking there all for the barbecue. The owner of Losers was really enthralled with his rib recipe and said it kind of changed my mind. So not only is he going to have the one that's downtown, if you're wandering around on Broadway, you can get some ribs and barbecue there, but then also Riley's Duck Blind, which is in Midtown, will have the barbecue available as well. There you go. All the things that you could possibly want in one stop. Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell both bringing in the summer menu. I'm very excited about Chick-fil-A because they brought back the peach shake. This is a staple. Taco Bell has added a lot of crispy chicken items to their menu. So now they've got crispy chicken nuggets, crispy chicken tacos, crispy chicken burritos, crispy chicken strips, and a spicy ranchero sauce. That's all available at Taco Bell for a limited time. So that's part of their summer menu.
Hey. Keep the cantina stuff. That's good stuff.
That's the stuff that you
cantina,
like.
I like that, yeah.
All right.
Maybe this is replacing the cantina menu for a while. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I am not familiar with the Taco Bell lingo enough to know what that means.
Well, the whole...
It's like the same three things.
I don't know.
Shaped 52 different ways. I swear, no matter what it is, it's the same thing.
I don't know what's on the cantina menu. I'm not there enough. Clearly, I need to go more. But
the shake? What is the thing? What is the peach thing?
Peach shake. But then they're also doing, this is what looks so yummy to me, peach frosted lemonade.
Oh, the lemonade at Chick-fil-A is really good
so
lemonade.
good.
Yeah.
Well, the peach shake is so good. The problem that I have is I just need them to do it with like a non-dairy alternative. Like give me like an almond milk peach shake, or, you know, if you could use something other than ice cream, because I just don't like the dairy part of it, but I'll suffer through it.
Y'all got oat milk over there.
You got oat milk peach shake?
Oh, my favorite is pea milk.
Oh, yeah. Jackson got such a kick out of when I brought home pea milk one day. Yes.
And a follow-up.
I can't even imagine.
A quick follow-up. My primary care doctor for many, many years recently stepped away from his practice. His daughter, Sydney Jordan, was a Denver Nuggets dancer.
Oh,
and
okay.
she was hired for the Denver Broncos squad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Their cheer squad. Yeah, so we're very excited in White House, Cross Plains, Orlando for Sydney.
That's really good.
Making us look good.
One more story. This is the one that you were talking about earlier. Keith Urban is now going to be helping you eat your tacos. So not necessarily from Taco Bell, but he's working with El Paso as the face of their new Casting the Cowboy campaign. So over the next few weeks, he's going to help the brand pick a singing cowboy or cowgirl from a field of 10 contenders. The winner will be revealed on July 14th. What is it with Keith and now being the judge on all these shows? He's on the road with Blake Shelton and all these other like reality shows.
I hear that Australian accent. I think old El Paso, don't you?
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And this is Anne Wilson on the Assembly Food Hall stage in the Simply Superior Acuff House studio on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza. And she had kind of lost where she was coming onto the complex because she wound up someplace she hadn't been before backstage. And then we said, just look out the window. And it was like, oh, there it is, the Grand Ole Opry, where you debuted in 2021.
I know. So excited to be here. Good to see y'all.
It's good to see you.
What a first day of summer outfit, Kelly.
I know. As soon as she walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's so bright and happy.
I love summer. I'm a summer girl.
You are.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
So how many times, now that you have the orientation of where you are and you see that the Opry is, how many times have you played the Opry now?
I've lost count. I think it's at least 10, maybe.
That's awesome.
But I'm like, it's an honor every time.
Well, when you've done it enough that you lose count, That's a good thing.
That's
Yep.
a good thing.
Yep.
Feels very natural now.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, the first time we met was in 2020, but we did not meet in person. We
Yeah.
were virtually doing everything
Yes,
because of
that's
COVID
right.
via Zoom. So I think
right.
the first time I actually met you in person was your Opry debut.
Yes.
Take me back to that first, because the first time, it's always special, but there's nothing like the first time in that circle.
No, it was so special. I'll never forget it. It felt just like a dream come true for me. And I think for me, it was like getting backstage and seeing all these artists that have come before me, artists that I looked up to, like Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash and so many other country artists. And then getting to step into that circle was like the most crazy, magical feeling. People always ask me about it, outside of the Opry and different, places I go visit around the country. And I'm like, I can't explain to you the magic of that feeling, but it's by far my favorite stage I've ever played on and probably ever will play on.
Well, and the cool part was My Jesus was already a hit. So people were singing it back to you, which was really neat too.
It was. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And that was about 4 to 5 months after My Jesus came out. So I was still like a baby, brand new to performing. And I remember stepping out there and being like terrified, but it was actually like my favorite performance probably that I've ever played at the Opry was the debut.
So good.
Share with us what My Jesus did in your life and how quickly it changed.
Wow, it was crazy. I was 19 years old. I had just turned 19 and I was living at the time in Lexington, Kentucky, where I'm from.
By the way, we
And,
share that in common. I'll talk to you more about
Oh,
that.
yeah. Okay. And so I had, had this song called My Jesus. My team was excited about it. I didn't know what it would do. I thought it was a good song. I didn't think it would do what it did. And I went to bed that night and I remember praying and I was like, God, if you want to use the song, like, use it to whatever extent you want to. So I remember waking up the next morning and my phone was blowing up on social media and I checked Facebook and it had 9 million views in 12 hours, the music video did. And I was like, how is this even possible? Like, how does this even happen in 12 hours? And so my manager calls me, he's freaking out. He's like, Anne, this song, like, look at the comments. And so I scroll and it was just like story after testimony of how people were like, this song, I just heard it for the first time, but this is my song. And so I remember like a week after that, I go into my booking agency and they're like, okay, tell us what you want to do with your career. Like, you have this song now and you're getting all these tour offers. And I know. They're like, oh, it was crazy. I was like, I'm literally 19. Like, I just graduated high school last year. Like, what a change of events. So, that's how it all started. And they were like, who do you want to tour with? So I gave them my artist, my dream artist I would want to tour with. And the next thing I know, the next week we had some tour offers in and my whole rest of the year that year was booked up.
Who'd you go out with
So
first?
it was Zach Williams was my first. Yeah.
And Matthew West since?
Yes, right after that. Yeah. And so, and then that's when me and Matthew started working together after that. So it was a fun journey and crazy to look back. It's been 4 years now, which is crazy.
It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's been 4 years to you?
It feels like it's been about 10, honestly.
I was going to say, there's like this weird time space continuum in your head where it probably feels very fast at times. And then other times like, oh my gosh, how long have we been here?
Yeah, for sure. Just because I feel like I've lived a lifetime in these 4 years, and I've grown up a lot in these 4 years.
Wow.
Share the story of your brother Jacob and the events in your life surrounding his passing and you feeling called a little later than a lot of folks do to get into the music business.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Kentucky and I grew up always listening to Christian music and country music. My brother raised me on country and my parents raised me on Christian. And it was always like this passion I had for music, but never to sing. I just thought, I just genuinely loved music. And so I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to work for NASA. That was like my dream of all dreams. And then in 2017, me and my family went through a really tragic time. My brother passed away in a car accident in 2017. He died at 23 years old. He passed in a car accident and he didn't make it to the hospital. He died on impact. We found out because the police came to our house that night and at 3:30 in the morning and told us and knocked on the door. And it was a really devastating moment in my life. I'll never forget it. But through that, I felt like he really called me to music. And I actually sang for the first time in front of anyone at my brother's funeral when I was 15, which ended up leading to me posting a YouTube video that went viral. And then that led to me finding my previous manager who ended up connecting me with Capitol Records, who offered me a record deal when I was 17. So it's crazy to look back and see that Jacob was such an integral part of what has led me into music. His passing, changed my perspective on life and taught me that life is so short and we're not promised tomorrow. And so, when you go through something tragic like that, it just changes your whole life. And for me, it was like, I want to spend the rest of my life praising God and writing songs. And so since then, he's taken me on a wild journey. And but one of my favorite things is getting to reflect on my brother through it all and honor him.
One of the great things, too, is your songs are obviously very personal. Like My Jesus, very personable. The new one, we're going to feature God's Story, very personal. But the reaction you get from people when you're in a merch line or meet and greet or comments on social media, the fact that they're so universal that everybody feels these things, that's got to be the payoff, right?
It is, yeah. And I think about songs that impacted me as a kid and growing up and listening to Christian and country radio. Like there were songs that impacted me, and it's like to now have a song that can impact someone else. It just is really cool for me and means a lot.
So where would you have gone as an astronaut? To the space station? What's your favorite planet?
Well, back then they were talking about the Mars mission.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something. At the time they were like, if you sign up, you'll never come back. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm going. And she's like, Anne, honey, you cannot go to Mars. Like, I'm not losing you in Mars.
You got into the music business. It's almost as bad. I mean, honestly, once you get in, you're never getting out.
John Prine has a song in his catalog called "Oh My Stars." Laura's gone to Mars, and we can't get her back.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Well, tell us about this Matthew West co-write that Charlie referenced, God's Story. We're going to feature that all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
This is a brand new song. Really excited about it. It's very personal to me. And at this point, 4 years into my career, I'm 23 now. I've learned a lot, and I think for me, it's been important to kind of reflect on what God has done in my life. And it's been 8 years since my brother passed. And I feel like I'm on this other side of his loss, of healing, a place of looking back, and remembering him in a good, positive way. And so anyway, I wrote this song out of kind of reflecting on his loss and seeing like through all of my struggles and pain in life, like God was writing a story for me that was greater than anything I could have ever dreamed of. And he's been writing every page of my story. And so God's story is like an invitation to not just a personal story, but an invitation for people to, to kind of look at their own life and to see the story that God is writing in their life.
Anne Wilson, interestingly, you are the same age now that he was when he passed.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole year has been me writing about that. And the new album that I'm going to be putting out has a lot about that.
When does that come?
We're not sure yet. Can't say it yet, but...
Right. You'll let us know.
Come back and see us when it happens.
Of course I will. I'm so excited about it. And this album talks a lot about that and just kind of that milestone and that grief journey of like living longer than my brother got to. So...
Anne Wilson is here, and this is God's Story.
Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
And so is Anne Wilson. We just shared with you her new song, God's Story. We got more coming from the Assembly Food Hall stage, which is wood from the Ryman circa 1950. That's the wood that the circle that you stood in on your debut at the Grand Ole Opry came from.
That is so cool. I love that.
All kinds of history over here.
I know.
Well, during the break, Kelly has really connected with Anne because you have cheer, which has been one of your stories with the Dallas Cowboys getting a 400% raise this morning. Yes. You have that shared in your background.
Cheer and dance, and we both have Stanleys that we carry with us everywhere. You got your emotional support water bottle.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
When did you know that, like, the things that you had done as a child, like you were in ballet for years, when did that start to come into play? Because there is a stage presence that you learn with that, with dance, with cheer, that carries over. And I don't know that people make that connection, but when I see people who've done it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I see. I know exactly what that is. She was on stage. She was cheering. She was dancing.
Yeah. Well, I started dancing when I was about 3 years old. And I remember having this point where it was like ballet was, we were talking about it's hard on your body and everything like that. And there's a lot of just the culture of it can sometimes be a little unhealthy. But once I started in it, I remember having this feeling of like, I love being on the stage. I remember having that vivid thought. I was playing at the Lexington Opera House, one of the Nutcrackers in December one year. And I just remember thinking like, I love this feeling of getting to perform on a stage. And at that point, obviously I hadn't sang before and I didn't know that I was going to end up doing this with my life. But it is cool to see kind of how that gave me confidence on stage and kind of prepared me for what I do now. And I had no idea at the time. Right. I had no idea, the story that God was going to write in my life. So it is cool to see that and to have that help a little bit,
You haven't thought about working ballet choreography into your act?
Maybe so. There's always that chance.
Next video shoot.
Yeah.
Bring out those point shoes.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
So I asked you, I saw where you went to Tate's Creek Presbyterian in Lexington, and I was
Yeah.
there in the 70s, in the late 70s, got my first big break in radio and went to WVLK. But you didn't go to Tate's Creek High School, you said?
No, yeah, I went to a private Christian school that my mom founded.
How about that?
It's called Veritas Christian Academy, and it was incredible. It was like we only went 2 days a week, and then the other 3 days you would go home and do your homework. So it was like a kind of like a co-op type school, and it was a great school to be a part of because it gives you time on that Monday, Friday, Wednesday to be able to pursue other things. And for me, that was music. So I was going to Nashville when I was a sophomore and junior in high school, and was able to leave on the Friday, come back on the Monday, and go write some songs.
Almost
So,
like a college curriculum where you have
It
Tuesday,
was.
Thursday classes,
For
and
sure.
you can kind of space the week out a lot.
Yeah.
So had you heard about this mysterious place called Music Row?
I
before you-
had.
So
I
once
had.
you landed there, what did you think?
It was crazy. It was such a surreal feeling. I had never been to Nashville before, but I remember we stopped through Nashville one time on the way to the beach a couple years before my brother passed, and I remember having this weird feeling like somehow it felt like home. And we actually stopped at like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and I remember thinking like, this feels so interesting. Like, why do I have this feeling of like home? And it was like the outskirts of Nashville, and then came back a couple years after that. And I remember coming back for the first time and first time on Music Row writing songs, and I was like, this is my home now, and it just felt really special.
Well, if you feel at home at Dunkin' Donuts, you need to tour New England. Because there's one on every street corner
I
where I
have
grew
been, and
up.
I love it.
Oh, it's the coffee of my people.
I know.
The smell of a Dunkin' Donuts cup of coffee. It takes me
Nothing
back.
like
There's
it.
nothing like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to feature Strong, and we've got the video for it. But I'm curious, when you co-write, what comes easier to you? Are you more lyrics? Are you more melody? Or does it just depend on the song? Because if I had a guess, I'm going to say you're more the lyric.
No, more the melody.
No,
yeah.
look at that. Okay.
More the melody. I can
And
kind
some
of
nice
like.
parting gifts for our
Well, it was a
contestant, Charlie
50-50 show.
Maddow.
This is why I don't go to Vegas, apparently. So,
I can kind of like think about a song and think about what I want to write about and have like a title, but most of the time melodies come natural to me.
Wow.
So when we were writing Strong, it was just a day I was kind of honestly didn't have words to put into it, and I was struggling and feeling like this weight of the pressure I think we all feel is like trying to be strong and trying to make it look like we have it all together, but we don't inside. And so I wrote that one with Matthew West, write most of my songs with him. He's one of my favorite people ever. And he was like, okay, let's write a song about, getting your strength from the Lord and like standing in that. So
He was on the show, left here, was involved in an automobile accident one morning.
I remember this.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
he
then
spun
wound up
out.
writing a song. The next time he came back, he played the song of
That's
his
crazy.
near-death experience
That is
on
crazy.
Riley Parkway.
We get real
Golly.
nervous when we invite him in now.
Yeah.
We're like,
yeah.
We weren't sure if he'd ever come back.
my
yeah.
gosh.
Just walk over.
Just,
Yeah.
just be careful.
Isn't that wild?
I remember that day I was like freaking out, and he didn't call me and tell me. I saw it on social media for the first time, and I'm like, why didn't you call me and tell me this?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
scary.
that was a scary day. Those are moments like that put things into perspective. So
Right.
yeah.
That's right.
So I saw where you would visit your grandparents. You grew up in Lexington. You've referenced
Yeah.
that. Where do they live?
It's a small town around Corbin, Kentucky area.
Oh,
so
yeah, Cumberland Falls.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Gorgeous part of the
Yeah,
country.
it's so beautiful. So they have a farm. My granddad owns about 700 acres in Kentucky. Absolutely stunning. It's been in our family for 5 generations. And my brother's buried there now, and it was one of our favorite places to go growing up. Because I kind of got like the suburb city feel with Lexington, and then I also got that country feel as well in Corbin.
So Big Blue Nation or Louisville Cardinals?
Big Blue Nation all the way.
So it's not a house divided. You don't have
No.
nobody.
I
Okay.
don't have friends that are Louisville fans. Like, they can't be in my life if they are.
Well, give us the backstory on Strong. We'd love to feature that in the video for it for those of you watching on Circle Country.
Yeah, the video I love because we shot it in Wyoming, and it was so beautiful. It had been my dream to go to Wyoming, Jackson Hole, and to film. That was where we took the album cover for my last record, Rebel, and we did this video. It's just such a beautiful place. But yeah, this song is all about reminding myself and others of just the strength that comes from God, and those days when it feels like you can't go a day, or you're going through whatever you're facing in life, that God is your strength. And I think it's been cool. It's been interesting to see people's kind of stories relate with it. A lot of people are like, hey, I'm going through a divorce and I needed this reminder, or I just lost my son or my daughter and I needed this song to remind me that I don't have to do it on my own, but that I can rely on a strength that is far greater than my own. Yeah.
That's Anne Wilson. She's a 2-time Dove Award winner, 3-time K-Love Award winner, debuted at the Grand Ole Opry in 2021. Where do you keep your awards?
In my house.
Yeah, but where?
Like upstairs in like a room back.
So like if I walked in the front door,
if you walked in,
it's
you
not
would
like,
not. They would not be displayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would find a chain and just walk around with them. Look at me. Here I am.
Yes, you would.
Only child. I'm sorry. It comes with the territory.
And this has been delightful. Thank you so much for coming to see us
Thank
this morning.
you.
All the best.
Thank you guys so
and
much.
I was just looking at your tour schedule. Toward the end of the month, you'll be in Biloxi, Mississippi, Winchester, Virginia, Fort Laramie, Ohio, and you got a Georgia date, Evans, Georgia, all ahead for you. And you can find it all at AnneWilsonOfficial.com. And that's Anne with an E.
Yes.
Because I have a sister-in-law who's like, no, Anne with an E.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
her. That's her.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
And
get
Anne with an E does not mean Annie. It's Anne. I have to remind people of that.
We have one of those too.
I know.
Our studio director.
And we joked the very first time we met, but how often early in your career did the people think you're the girl from Heart?
All the time, and it still happens to this day. And I'm like, do you see me? Like, I don't have black hair and I'm not in my 70s, but okay.
Here she is now with Barracuda.
I was just going to say, just for the fun of it. Yeah.
Well, here is Strong from her album Rebel. Thank you again. Kelly Sutton Entertainment, take us home.
All right. So imagine this. You just came home from your trip. You've got everything happy, ready to go home. You grab your bag off of the carousel. You feel something weird. And you look down just in time as you're driving home to realize that the stone has come out of your ring. This is what happened. A lady in Pittsburgh got home, grabbed her bag off the carousel, gets in the car. Oh my gosh, the main stone is gone from my engagement ring. She goes back to the airport, finds the maintenance guys. They help her search for 4 hours, y'all. 4 hours. They finally took 2 paint sticks, taped them together, and found the loose diamond under the carousel. Like a sticky little fly trap thing going underneath there. No telling what else.
What
they
else
found.
did they find?
I don't
How
know.
many various insects and like rodents?
Don't know. But they found the diamond. It was like a needle in a haystack. And hats off to everybody in Pittsburgh for making that happen. She had to be thrilled.
I mean, they went above and beyond, right? You don't expect
hours?
anybody to do that
Yeah,
much
absolutely.
effort for you.
That
So,
was incredible.
yeah.
And here's the crazy thing. So she got married on Friday the 13th. That happened on Friday
Stop
the
it.
13th.
Oh, doo-doo-doo-doo.
So the fact that it was on her anniversary and she was able to find the diamond. Good for her.
Now, I know you want the original diamond, but I got to think it's probably insured, right? I mean, that's like the very first thing we insured was Renee's
Yeah,
ring.
but you know, it also goes up in value. So if you insured it for a dollar amount and you haven't changed it in a while, you might not be able to get the same diamond.
We inflated it a little when we started, so I think
You
it
did?
matches
Okay,
what
good
it's
for
worth
you.
now.
Good for you. I just bought a fake ring because we're traveling and I never travel with my jewelry. So I'll bring the fake ring in next week and I'll let you guys see if you can compare
Oh, yeah.
the real with the fake.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Diamond.
I thought so.
Uh-huh.
Hasn't changed, has it? All these years, it has not changed. By the way, I got an email just now from the Pittsburgh airport, Charlie. They
Yes.
do have pest control there.
Oh, good. Thank God.
What else y'all find under there? Huh? How nasty was it under there?
Gross.
Hey, Kelly Sutton, Charlie Matos, David Reed, Annie Nye. We've got Jeff Robertson, Master Control, and we are done. First day of summer and our first full weekend. Let's get into it. What do you say, huh? See you next week.